over.
It's over. Starting soon over.
It's over.
Actually, no, it's just over in total. Time to end stream.
Let me erase my guy.
We just started. And now it's done. Goodbye.
Did it actually start? I'm so confused. Yeah, it did.
If it hasn't started on your end, I started the recording, so...
No, it definitely started. I wonder if it actually changed my stream info though, because I forgot to save it. Oh, that's so silly. Hold on.
Oh, from yesterday? Oh, just for technical difficulties, but we're having a fine time today. For technical difficulties,
oh, no, okay. It's okay. Wow, that is like 0 delay. That was scary.
MJ, did you erase the body of your alien?
Oh, he's just a head.
Just a head again.
I need to get rid of his body to remove
words.
Space.
So you have space.
No worries.
Yeah.
Alright. Accidental Romanian flag.
Hello and welcome to our TED Talk about Romania today.
Hello and welcome to Romania.
Accidental Romania.
Accidental Romania.
What's happening? Okay. Oh, my phone. My phone not to move. Don't move!
To OC Yappy Hour! The crowd goes wild.
Something quick to the R2-D2 screen.
Yeah, they're like the crowd is going wild, and somewhere in the crowd you see my fucking chicken man. They're just.
Hello and welcome to our monthly get-together where we just talk and yap and rant about creative projects we've been working on.
Welcome to We Do Things. We are so do things.
We lose our mind. It's okay.
We are so on the ball, on the game. We know what we do.
Sadly, our friend Pal and Pro are not joining us tonight. Pro, very busy. Pal is cursed by a coyote.
Pal is fighting the coyote. What is it that she wants to say?
I should say cursed by Mama Pig from the Peppa Pig series.
Peppa curse.
And that curse is being enacted through the spirit of a coyote.
Yeah, the Peppa curse is through the coyote.
But hopefully the curse has been lifted.
First her message was tell chat that the coyotes took me out to dinner, and then things got progressively worse. and now she's in Dante's version of hell.
Oh damn!
Frozen.
Yeah, the ninth circle where it's very cold and icy.
Very, very cold. And icy. I have to go somewhere tomorrow and I have no idea how I'm going to drive out of the parking lot because it is literally a lake of water.
We are literally in the ninth circle of hell.
You're not wrong. So I think the funniest thing I saw today was was the snowplow guy come through, plow the parking lot, and get nothing. Just one big sheet of ice.
Yeah, it's just all ice.
You did this, dude. You're the same guy that came out here and made the lake, and now you're trying to get rid of the lake, and it's not working. So
crazy. He should just take his plow and just lift it up and slam it back down a bunch of times in the middle of the parking lot.
That's what people were doing with shovels today, to try and free their cars.
Wow.
When I say I walked outside last night to get something from my car and I almost lost my toes, there was water almost to my ankles. Like, it covered my foot. And I was like, what the hell?
That's insane.
So I was just like, what did you do? Everything was fine when there was just snow on the ground. So...
Is there like no drains in your parking lot?
I'm pretty sure there is, but it's frozen! So...
Oh me, oh my.
Everything's frozen! Or covered
Crow's
in snow.
awake still. Everybody point and scream. Crow's awake still. She just subscribed. She just subbed with Prime. Scream at her.
How dare you!
Go to bed, go to bed, go to bed!
It's good night to you!
Wow. Well, I guess we need to decide what order we go in.
Should we all roll a d20?
A d20? Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I have dice
roll
next to me.
initiative.
Roll
Come
initiative.
on, guys. It's time to roll initiative. Let's go. Ow.
Who gets to go?
Gonna roll
Into the fire.
initiative. I got a 3.
I got a 4.
Whoa.
So much for a d20. We could have just done a d6. So...
Wait, we're doing a d20?
Yeah. Or that was the
I mean, we got a 3 and a 4, so you could do a d6.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, ours are low enough. It doesn't matter.
You got a 3 and a 4?
Yeah.
I got a 2.
Whoa.
2, 3, 4.
Dude,
I'm not even kidding.
dude, this is crazy.
So 4, 3, 2, 1. Ha!
My baby don't man.
I guess the initiative.
Continue that, or else we'll get copyright.
Oh boy.
It's okay. I don't think it's a funny joke, but honestly, I don't think it's. There's no truth to that.
No.
Sushi singing. If you played the actual sound bit,
Yeah, that.
you can play
yeah,
5
yeah.
seconds. I wonder how far into the song can you get with 5 seconds?
My.
It's like this. It's like the same thing as the making my way.
Yeah.
That's it. And you have to say it at a certain pitch. So. My brain has completely forgotten how initiative works for some reason. 4. Am I first? Is that
No,
what
initiative goes the one up. 1, 2. So MJ's first.
Oh, MJ's first. Okay.
Initiative you want to do. Or wait. No.
It's like
Bigger number,
What?
closer to 20. So
yeah.
I don't fucking care. Either way, I'm in the middle.
MJ, you go first because I went first last time.
All right.
I went first last time with my illness.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Been a crazy day for everybody.
It's been a crazy weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, you go live. Open.
Open.
Let me in. Oh my god.
I'm knocking on the door. What?
Is it in full screen for you all?
Yeah, let me. How do I pop out window? Why did it turn yellow when I popped the window out? What the hell? Oh.
Do you have a daylight
Apparently I
changer
have.
thing?
Apparently I do on one screen, but not the other.
Whoa!
Interesting. Did not know that there was tag day.
Jot it down in my notebook.
Ta.
I'm hanging on.
Honey.
I'm hanging on for dear life.
was about to burst into song, and then I realized I can't think of a song that has the words "hang on" it. Not off the top of my head. Yep, we're back into the musical.
Okay. Cock.
Okay. Alright.
Cock.
Update.
Cock.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember how many of these I've done.
Cock.
So,
An ad just started.
No!
Scream for 50 seconds.
Scream for 50 seconds? Just cut off. I watched my bubble light up and then die.
Discord went, no. No, how about we don't do that?
How many happy hours have we had?
We
Together.
had...
I think this is number 5 for me and
Oh my
MJ and 6 for you. Because you did one more before we started joining you guys. At least I only have 4.
I don't know.
I am Vorp.
Warp.
What?
Warp.
I am Vorp. I am Slime.
I am sure.
Who is the lady from the grandma got run over by the reindeer? And, like, her name
The
is
grandma?
like...
The
No,
grandma or the
no,
cousin?
No, the evil lady whose name is, like, I am Slime. Like, that's her literal name is I am Slime.
Beats me.
Me slime.
I just remember
like,
a
Grandma.
weird...
And she's like, you dare speak to me? I am Slime? And the
Me
main
slime,
character's like, you
Grandma.
said it, lady, not me.
Isn't she like a evil like business lady and is like trying
Yeah,
to buy
yeah,
a shop or something from them?
Yeah, she's the
an evil
redhead
business-
lady.
Who just joined this call?
The
Who are
coyote
you?
has left the building.
What the fuck?
Oh!
What?
Coyote has left the building.
I'm
You have-
assuming this means you have power and internet, friend.
Yes.
You're
Oh, that's
alive.
good.
Yeah.
That means you
How
can
is-
sleep good tonight.
How was dinner with the coyote?
We had pizza and a Mai Tai. It was pretty good actually.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah.
Pizza and a Mai Tai. That sounds great.
That sounds
Oh,
baller right now,
I could
actually.
really go
Oh,
for
Crap,
What are the
guys, our flag.
What?
We have to
God
make
damn
space.
Oh, we can't be Romania anymore.
Holy
How-
fuck! The heater's back on, dude.
Now,
Oh.
you could just like put your writing below mine. I don't want to bother resizing everything in this. in
Oh, yeah, the-
magma.
You can
Oh, the
have
magma.
you can cut it
Oh,
in
what
half.
if we
maybe.
made
Ooh,
another?
yucky.
What if we made a PAL square?
I'm just gonna
That
fucking
was
wander around and
just
draw.
what if you just had like the bottom section?
I was
this whole
gonna say
bottom
we can just
area.
cut it in half.
Just take a little bit out of all of us.
If the ad has
PAL
stopped.
zone.
Pal
The ad has stopped. PAL zone.
Okay.
Here, let me move this so you can see what's going.
Congrats!
No, no, call it Pal World.
You survived the ad, and with that, Pal has survived the coyote.
I've survived the coyote, thanks to your help. Thanks to the beautiful help of all you chatters out there.
Let me change
Oh.
my color.
Oh, my
for you,
desk is still
Pal.
freezing, but god damn.
Can't believe.
Where's
the
my
coyote
cursor?
almost had
It's so hard to see my fucking cursor on this.
All right, can everyone see?
you. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I can't remember how many of these we've done. So updates on Morak, just some kind of basic stat system updates. So I switched over a thing from a stat kind of aspect from Annihilation to Morak, as it kind of suits a class based game better, and Annihilation doesn't have classes. So basically it's going to be a primarily 1d4, except for your one stat that is focused on your class, which will be changed to a d6. And yeah, so weapons start only right. So one idea that I had is that, so to attack with weapons, they will you kind of don't start with proficiency in anything, or maybe you only start with one thing. And in order to kind of increase your damage, you need to become more familiar with your weapons in the game. And so you'll become like more proficient over time, which will give you more and more of your like damage dice when you use your weapons. This will happen basically this can happen either after a certain number of fights you've made while using that weapon, or it will occur via like a GM milestone thing. After that, armor has different resistances based on its type. So there are different kind of damage types, and they their efficacy will change depending upon what armor that you wear. So for example, steel armor has incredible resistance to slicing and puncturing, or slicing and crushing, but it doesn't do so well with puncturing. While there are other kind of armor types that will have different resistances. So damage types, I've kind of been limiting them down. I don't want them to get like super extensive, like with Dungeons and Dragons, where there's just like 100 different types of damage. So I'm going to try and keep them limited to slicing, crushing, puncture, burning, blasting, melting, and psychological. So slicing, crushing, and puncturing, those are all pretty self-explanatory. Same with burning. Blasting is in reference to like a bomb going off, or perhaps some type of shockwave type of thing. Difference between burning and melting is burning refers to just having something that is flaming or can inflict burns striking you. So that could be anything from, someone throwing, like like firing a burning arrow at you, to you literally being struck with lightning. While melting specifically refers to things that will kind of completely reduce you to sludge, so things like acid or lava. And psychological damage is for those who might have some type of psychic power. Still considering what type of playboard to use. At first I was thinking of sticking with squares, then I thought about sticking with hexagons, and now I'm kind of leaning back towards a normal square board. So yeah, I'm not really entirely sure. After that is Annihilation updates. So, like I said in the first one, I switched some stat details from Annihilation to Morak and vice versa. So we're sticking with the D4 as the only primary stat die that can be increased or changed depending upon what organs you kind of steal or what limbs you steal and graft onto yourself. Probably going to commit to a hexagon playboard, so I think that this game is, because it's a bit more kind of combat focused, it might do well from a hexagon style playboard. Also because there's a lot of games that use hexagons for building materials. So I know there's like kind of Dwarven Forge, but I know a lot of other ones that that use specifically hexagons, and so I want it to kind of be, you know, if you can't, you know, buy materials for your game board, you can literally just use ones from another game that you're playing that has that uses a hexagon style. So implementing elevation into combat. So one of the things that that I want to implement is height and how that can affect attacks. So like one of the kind of aspects of combat is if you climb up onto something high and you leap onto an enemy and do a strike, it deals more damage. Especially if the higher you are, the more force you'll bring down on your enemy. And so I'm kind of calculating that out. I was thinking of making it like maybe like a D4 for, you know, every kind of 10 feet of descent. I'm going to try and do some play testing. I've mostly just been messing around with just rolling dice to see what outcomes look like and see if things are balanced. So I'm gonna try and do some play testing in the future. After that, it's just kind of some art from Morak that I've been working on. Not really any kind of huge explanations or anything. And I think that's the end of my slides. Yes, it is.
Okay.
That is so fun.
Good answer.
Okay.
That is so fun.
I like how you are taking the approach of looking at Morak and Annihilation and sort of considering, like, mechanically just like, oh, what, like, this mechanic that I want to use, which setting does it fit better?
Yeah.
I like you're looking at them at the same time too, because it I feel like was gonna very much help with the, like, making sure that they're not like the same thing.
Yeah, that was something that's kind of been frustrating, is kind of trying to make sure they're not too distinct. Because I realized I was planning to use a D4 for Annihilation, and then a D4 also kind of worked for Morak, so that kind of became concerning that I was, you know, kind of reusing like details from each kind of material set.
No.
When you say game board, like the hexagons that you were talking about,
Yeah.
are you talking about? Do you want a physical game board?
Well, yeah, most TTRPGs have, like, come with, you know, a blank game board set, and you can kind of add stuff to it.
Okay, because when you were talking about the elevation as well, I like the mechanic that, like, being able to use the environment to your advantage adds more damage and stuff like that.
But for a lot of creativity.
Yeah, and then having, like, a hexagon game board and being able to, like, build, like, little mountains are like built and giving the physical appearance of elevation. So as well, my brain just kind of like
Do you
how
see it
trying to
as-
imagine it physically.
Yeah,
So-
do you see it as like a buildable board? Like you can like add layers on top of each other, or like just like different
yeah.
colors of shapes is elevation?
So the way I'm thinking of it is like so stuff like that can get pretty expensive, so I want to that's why I kind of went with the hexagon board, because there's a ton of old RPGs that still use hexagon boards that have materials to them, and so I don't want people to have to spend a bunch of money to be able to use the game. So I was thinking that they could like kind of sandwich in their own materials, but I do still want there to be at least a chance for you to use kind of genuine kind of Annihilation style materials, but I'm not sure like that's something that I guess I would have to kind of talk to like a company about producing in, you know, like a factory.
See, I
Sorry,
see.
does that answer your question?
It does. I'm trying to think of the other thing I wanted to say. I guess my brain is like trying to think of like what next steps could you take, because I know you were talking about the other day about like not knowing where to go in either of the projects so far. Like so far you know where you're going. I would trust your instincts and keep going. My brain is possibly like, are you going to write modules for these games or a full story for this game? Like, are you just building the world for it?
I'm trying to focus a bit less on world building currently, as it seems like we've reached a stage where we have enough, like not enough, but we have quite a bit of kind of creative material, but we don't have a whole lot in the terms of like numbers. So
Okay.
I'm trying to kind of get myself to focus on just pure, you know, kind of, does this work? Will combat work? Will these kind of things that I'm proposing actually function on a board?
You could always write a module and then test it, game test it.
Yeah, I could do that.
Help
That's a good idea.
help you figure out the numbers, because I know numbers can be hard and abstract when you're just thinking about the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do that.
There you go.
My eyes are itchy. Alright, does anyone have any questions? Or any other questions?
I'm good. I've presented my
like it.
question.
Oh,
It does.
thank you.
It is coming out really good, and you guys have a lot of stuff going on. So in both of them.
Yeah, also I'm sorry if I sound extremely tired. I got very little sleep last night.
It's
No, you're
okay.
valid. Don't worry about
I
it.
was very
All
sick.
good. All good.
I was ill.
Oh, little Victorian child ill.
I am 27 years old.
You just sound like I did the last
My
time we
life
did this.
is
I was like half
nearly
asleep.
I've just entered my twilight years as at 27. I must get my affairs in order.
They must be prepared for the next of kin.
Pal, did you want to join in tonight, or are you just chilling? Do you want to be added to the roster?
Sorry, I realized how much shit I still had out in the living room. I don't have a fucking presentation.
You want to just talk?
I can yap about what I was planning on presenting on this month.
Yeah, if you have it like in your brain. You don't need the visual.
Kind of I can
or
really
you
do
can,
some
like, zoom in on
loose
your
thinking
area
through.
And you can doodle while you talk.
No, I'll get distracted. I'll be doodling Marys until I stop talking.
I'll be
Anyway.
doing Marys until I stop.
I wanted to try and get to the core of like my writer's block this month. I wanted to try and see why I have such a hard time writing a fuller length story. And like I think like I have a pretty good time making beginnings and endings to a story, and I have an incredibly difficult time making a middle because I sort of find myself finding multiple different ways that I can set something up, and like none of them are exactly like satisfying to what I would want out of a story. Like, okay, the longest, most narrative portion of Wild Magic that I currently have in my mind, and it's spoiler territory, but I don't currently care. You get to hear about it. Is that like I have Laurel's backstory in Wild Magic be kind of similar to Laurel's backstory in Grand Ghost, insofar as like she's kind of on the run from her previous job, and I want that to catch up to them. I specifically, like, you know, I want it to catch up to B. I kind of like the dynamic that I really like with B and Laurel. The dynamic that I really want to write is just like, like the kid kind of has to answer for the parents' mistake, and sort of kick their ass into gear to make their own life better. And like there's a couple different ways that I have it happen, because I have the general structure down, which is that like you know, like B and Laurel kind of have this rhythm for a long time of like staying in one place for a certain amount of time and then moving. That rhythm breaks because B's like, I kind of don't want to move anymore, and Laurel's like, well, you're an adult, you don't have to move. And very quietly to herself is just like, well, they're not after her, they're after me, so it's probably fine. So Laurel moves out, and then the folks after Laurel catch up to B. and all of a sudden B's fucking in it, it's just like, what's happening? What is this? And has to do kind of a like heist thing to sort of get Laurel off the hook forever, because the entire thing is that just like, like she's still kind of on the employee roster because like they're not really the types of folks that you can just quit. So they've just been kind of chasing her down to try and bring her in. So B's like, okay, if I can get to that employee roster and just take her off, then, you know, it's fine. There's nobody left to chase after. Or maybe it's like, or like there's probably something about debts as well. I don't know. But anyway, she goes up to fucking space because the fucking like head office went orbital, like, you know, decades ago when a lot of the other fucking capitalist shit was going orbital. So B has to fucking go to space. And I'm just like, okay, how's that gonna happen? And I want B to beat Fairweather all the way. It's just like, okay, how's that gonna happen? It's like, okay, and Sun's up there too, and Sun used to work with Laurel back in the mercenary days, and I'm racking my brain for how much of a villain I want him to be, and whether or not I want Rain to be in there as well, and how the whole heist thing actually resolves and the actual steps of it. But I have how they get home. Basically, I have like the setup and I have the like last couple pages, and the entire center of the story there's like several different ways it can go, that like anytime I make a decision of like, okay, this part can go like this, it kind of messes with a different part that I don't really know how to work around things. I sort of like I iterate on a story so fast that I fail to actually get any further into planning it. Because like I iterate enough that I hit upon a point that completely undoes a previous point. I'm just like, oh wait, but does this work better or does that work better? And I can't really tell, and I don't really know how to get this stuff down fast enough to keep up with the pace of my own thinking and get it down in a way that I can show it to others. Because it's very hard for me to explain my stories when they're in the middle of planning, because I second guess myself even while I'm explaining it. That is the thing. I wanted to try and this month look into basically just kind of do a survey of how other people do longer comics, how do other people write comics, and try and see if any methods stand out to me, and try and come up with a way for me to test those methods such that I can find something that allows me that iteration in a way that's recordable and easy to understand for others to look at. Yes. So if any of you have pointers, I know that Lyra is the one most experienced with long form narratives.
I've got a lot. I'll let the other two talk first.
I'm nervous about how much novel writing knowledge can actually be applicable to comics, because there are considerations of physical space to be taken in, and shot direction and stuff, and yeah, I don't know. I'm used to thinking of things for I'm used to.
It's more of writing a stage play than writing a novel.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but it's also tough because I'm used to staging things for animation in my mind, and then
if you're willing to watch some videos, I have some videos that I can send to you that help explain how to do that.
Okay, please.
And it very much, basically their method very much is just write a stage play.
Okay.
And go from there. On the topic of like having so many ideas, and then like ideas contradicting each other as you think of more things, and not being like all over the place, not knowing how to like put shit together. Might I suggest you're gonna feel a little crazy, but it will help. Write things on sticky notes, make an actual physical string board. Dude, fucking put it on your wall, an entire wall of shit.
Do a fucking writer's room. Do a fucking writer's room board.
If it would help you, I can show you some of my D&D planning notes that I do like that. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure I have some that won't like spoil anything.
Okay.
Because that is how when anything that's not Southern Gothic where I'm making it up on the spot. That's how I plan big things.
Okay.
So it basically just is very much, because like you said, you need to think about like stage direction and like camera angles and everything. So it's very much, you're just write a script.
I was about to say the same
B
thing.
walks
It's like
in from the
writing a
left of the
script. Yep.
B comes
Okay.
in from the left holding this thing in her hand. She looks exasperated, says this, and then little dialogue bits. And Laurel behind counter, polishing glass or something. Like, just like things like that.
Stage play scripts, and if you want to look into, and I can try and find some that I have stashed away from my script writing classes. I can find you not script writer scripts, cinematographer scripts, because those are two different things.
That would also be very
and they
good,
are written
yes.
very, very differently.
Yeah.
So where scriptwriter switch,
I do approach it more cinematographer kind of mentally.
Yeah, scriptwriter scripts, that's your story and your dialogue, and like the action paragraphs aren't like telling you like character enters stage left. It's telling you like so and so is sitting on the steps of the cabin or something like that. Like it's similar, but cinematographer scripts, those are the ones that tell you this character enters left of screen and stuff like that. And it gives you a bit more of the blocking that you do on a stage or in a scene for movies and stuff like that. I can try and find some of the old ones that I have stashed away that we used to look at. So I'm not the greatest at writing those. Mine always tended to be more on the scriptwriter side. So, but I have read plenty. So.
Yes.
First of all, I love the idea of a heist movie. Also, love the idea of B being a blood sacrifice, in place of Laurel. Very kind of what's his name? Abraham the dude on the mountain with his son.
yeah, guy on Dude Mountain with his shit ass son. Yeah.
Sacrificing to God.
I'm laughing because this isn't the first time something I've made has been compared to a biblical passage.
Hey,
well, if I am able to offer no helpful information, at least I made you laugh.
Yes, at least you made me laugh.
So, I love the idea of a heist. It reminds me quite a bit of like not quite a bit, but it reminds me a bit of Elysium, where kind of the super capitalists live in orbit in a giant floating triangle.
God, yeah, I have to rewatch Elysium.
Yeah, and I was thinking about what you're talking about, the problems that you were having, and I don't know, I just started writing down times where I heard people talk about that kind of stuff, and David Lynch had a really interesting kind of moment where he was in like some interview where he says like, I just get 3 to 5 scenes that I think would be really cool, and then I just link them together, and just completely doesn't matter how connected how similar they are or whatever. Just 3 to 5 scenes that you think would be cool, that really kind of like that are enriching to you, and just kind of like writing, okay, how do I get them here?
Yeah.
That's hitting your beats, folks.
Yeah, I need good methods of bridging.
Yeah, folding ideas. Dan Olson talked about one time when he was having problems writing a script for something. He said that when I have difficulty writing a script, I literally just start writing down literally what needs to happen for me to get what I want out of this. So there like no prose, no dancing lights, no anything special, just I need to get you I need to get you here, so this is what I need to do to get you there.
I see.
And
Okay.
it sounds kind of boring, but I think that might be a bit helpful.
Yeah, no,
Also-
that's good, actually.
Do like I do. If you have trouble remembering stuff like I do, get a tape recorder like me. Be Dale Cooper. I carry a tape recorder with me at all times, and I record into it constantly. Everyone looks at me like I'm insane. And remember, there was another person who also had kind of an interesting history with creation. Q Hayashida. They made the manga Dorohedoro,
Okay.
and when they first started making it, so she got her job from her mentor, who kind of became her boss, and he said when they first started the comic, hey, so I don't know how my boss hasn't told me how much time you're gonna have to make this. So I hate to say it, but you gotta kind of write this like it could end at any moment, because it quite literally could. And a
You're a
lot
great motivator.
and honestly, it was really fascinating because it created one of, like, I don't even want to say the pacing is bad, it's just the pacing is so strange in Dorohedoro that it really is. I think that you would like the weird kind of just beat to beat to beat to beat kind of episodic nature of Dorohedoro. I would definitely recommend you check out, not just because it's a great manga, but because I think you would like the way it's written, and I think you would like the creator. I think the creator might be able... She has a lot of kind of writings at the ends of her mangas where she talks about, like, gotta say mangas. I sound like my dad.
Mungus.
Yes, my mungus. She does a lot of kind of like writing about her process at the end of her books. So, yeah, David Lynch, 3 good scenes, folding ideas, just literally write what you need to, what you need to happen. Tape recorder, and Q Hayashida.
Okay. Tape recorder.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit you with something, pal,
Sure.
that I hit Fawn with the other day.
Sure.
Because they were asking.
It's a bus.
No! So, first off the top of my head before I forget, I know things that help me when I have writer's block, when I have writer's block, especially if I'm unsure how to get from the beginning of a story to the end of the story, is to pick up material, like whether it's watching the movies, TV shows, comic books, like anything that has the same themes as the story that you are creating. Because it kind of helps you frame, like, okay, they told it this way, and like it helps you kind of frame, like, and see all of the different perspectives of how to frame a story with the same themes. So, and that's just taking lessons from like literary canon and stuff like that, is just
Right, yeah.
so other things, and this is what Fawn was asking me the other night. I pinned the article in our general chat on this. I have so I'm just gonna give you questions first. So the first question I have for you in this story for Laurel and Bee and like everything you have planned for this is, who is your main character? Now, to explain that a little bit, there's a difference between a main character and a protagonist. The main character is the character that things happen to, and the protagonist is the person who drives the plot forward. So, so in that context, like thinking of it that way, because a main character and a protagonist are different things, and I'm not going to talk about heroes because we don't need heroes in this context for your story. We need main characters and protagonists. So, if you think about it that way, who's your main character in this? Is it Bee or Laurel? It's hard to think about.
It's tough because like B, I think, gets the most perspective in this one, and has the most things kind of happen to her, but also kind of has to drive it for Laurel.
Okay.
Because Laurel, basically the thing, like, one core of it is that, like, Laurel spent the past, like, 26 years avoiding this thing, so B is like, okay, you are facing it, though, now.
Okay. So, thinking of it that way, then I think, in my head, you're right, B is probably your main character, because a lot of the things happen to B.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean B can't propel the story forward either.
Right.
So they are the main character. It's just a lot more stuff happens to them, and they are experiencing the story.
Yeah. B comes into this knowing the least.
Yes. So B would probably be your main character in that context. Laurel would probably be like an unwilling protagonist.
Yeah.
Because they are propelling the problem and propelling the plot forward, but they also have to face it at the same time. Like you said, B forces them to face it.
Yeah.
And the two of them sound like they can trade positions, which is fine. So it's just understanding the factor of like the difference between a main character and a protagonist. And that's something I've been learning over the last like year. So since I was looking into it and found this article, and I was just like, oh my god. So, and thinking about it a lot more. So that said, are we just hearing the story from B's perspective, or do you plan on splitting it between B and Laurel?
I plan on splitting it, I think.
Okay. So we have two...
Whenever I think about it, it's like split in my mind.
Okay, so we've got two narrators, basically, which also kind of gives you a good happenstance of like, yeah, B is the main character, is experiencing the majority of the story, but they are also forcing Laurel to like face what they are propelling forward, which is this problem that they're both tackling together, just in different ways. And then you mentioned a villain. Do you want a villain or an antagonist?
Okay.
Because an antagonist is, and this is something like I found on like the Cinema Therapy channel, and I can try and find the videos where they talk about them. But for the most part, the gist of antagonists and villains is villains are obstacles that block your path and want to take you down or prevent you from achieving your goals, while an antagonist is someone who may have intentions to stop you, but through conflict, the antagonist still propels the story forward. So...
I mean, I guess antagonists would fit it better, because like, okay, because
I think my lowdown was villains are walls, antagonists are gatekeepers.
Yeah. I mean, I go back and forth between the two a little bit, because like, okay, core dynamic of Sutton in this story is that like he's Laurel's like foil. They were in sort of mercenary work at the same time. Laurel got out, he didn't. So sort of the life that Laurel lives now, and also just B as an entirety, both kind of represent what he denied himself. Just kind of like when they were both younger, they were like, I don't think I have a choice in staying here. But Laurel made that choice anyway, and he didn't. And then he suddenly gets faced with the fact of like, oh, actually, yeah, I did have that choice, and I'm still not making it. I'm still just not making it. Fucking
Okay.
fail ass.
Then I would probably think Sutton is more of an antagonist than a villain,
Mm-hmm.
because what was the examples I gave to one the other? Villains are more seen as like, what was it? Villains are more seen as like, Mother Gothel is the villain in Rapunzel because she only wants Rapunzel to herself and wants to keep her from the rest of the world, has no good intentions whatsoever, is never allowing Rapunzel to do anything else, like past life in the tower, and that is it. And then an antagonist would be like Moana's dad, where he wants the best for Moana, he wants to protect her, but he is creating a conflict of like, no, you can't go past like the reef and stuff like that.
Right.
But still it happens. He doesn't like blockade her. Like he doesn't take her and lock her away. He just tries to like stop her to the best of his ability without doing harm, basically.
Yeah.
So I feel like Sutton might be more of your antagonist because Sutton is also propelling the story forward.
Maybe.
As a foil. So
Perhaps. Because there's also a beat that I go back and forth on in my head is like, okay, what kind of skin in the game does Sutton actually have here? Because like that, like there's a version of this story in my head where Sutton approaches B, looking for Laurel, of course, but finding B's like, hey, do you wanna do this thing to clear your mom's name? Using that, of course, quietly to draw Laurel up there, because I think he just wants to fucking beat her to shit. Or someone else does that for B. She's being brought up, and Sutton fucking intercepts and grabs them out of there. And is like, hey, hi. That stuff there about clearing your mom's name, you're not gonna do it that way. You're gonna do it my way, where it's also gonna help me. And otherwise, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Because both are kind of interesting to me.
And sometimes it's just a matter of getting them both down and seeing which one you like better.
True.
But
Real.
I definitely know, like, looking at material that is similar in theme and maybe story definitely helps myself with writer's block. So maybe grabbing, and I'm like, I know MJ and Fawn probably have a lot of recommendations. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but I can definitely find stuff for you. And the other thing that might help is definitely filling your roles, like who's who in your story, and like what's their purpose and where do you want them to end up, which you've been doing really good with your character analysis of like where do they start and where do they end up. So, and lo and behold, the last ultimate thing you can always do is follow the beats of the hero's journey.
Yeah, it's true.
So, and if you, and I know I've done that in the past where I've looked at the hero's journey and gone, does this fit? And like I've plugged in my plot for some of my stories in the hero's journey, and if it fits, okay, we'll go with it. So if it doesn't, then I make it fit. To the point where I'm like, I know I might add an extra step or two in the hero's journey to like make it fit. But so, and sometimes that means not drawing a straight line or a circle. It means I'm going to draw a circle inside a square. So, but yeah, I would definitely read that article that I pinned in the general
watch
about
videos.
So, and I will try and find some of the cinema therapy ones that talk about the villain and antagonist stuff, because that's not in the article I found.
Feel free to send me some fucking homework.
No worries, I already wrote a sticky note for myself.
Yay, Smilers!
Smilers everywhere.
Smilers world.
It's time for Smiler.
Yes.
It's a Smiler's world.
It's a Smiler's world.
It's no longer.
I know.
All.
It's
Another thing that might help with Sutton's purpose is possibly looking at villains or antagonists that have the same vibe that you want Sutton to have and seeing where that gets you. So, and just seeing how they act and doing like an antagonist or a villain study on like a character that's not yours. So
I see.
but yeah.
Okay.
Yippee!
I do think you have a really good theme though, being the kid has to, what did I write? Theme, kid has to pay for the parents' mistakes. Very good theme.
Like one of the fucking three good scenes in my head is very much like B having to confront Laurel once she gets
a good
up
scene
there.
for that type of story.
Once she fucking
So-
gets up there to be like, I should not have to take steps to make your life better.
That breaking the wheel type of deal.
Mm-hmm. We're both in it now. You and me. Stupid.
Dumbass.
Stupid.
You can't deal with these problems by yourself, then ask for help. So, and if you're not gonna ask for help, don't force people. So
We'd be a little baby.
Sorry, I really. No, I was trying to talk. That wasn't me making fun of you. That was me.
No, I like that.
yeah, and Pal, if you're
Yeah.
ever having struggles with writing the story in general,
Mm-hmm.
feel free to just DM me.
I
Fawn
mean,
did that the
again-
other day. They were like, "Help!"
Again, if I
Like,
figure,
I'm good.
If I
I'll give you
figure
a
out-
writing.
If I figure out a way of getting these things down in a way that's comprehensible to
Tape
outside
recorder.
viewers, tape recorder.
Dale
Tape
Cooper
recorder
with
is a
me.
definitely
I'll send you.
a
I'll
good
send you
idea.
a 20-minute. I'll send you a 20-minute voice recording of me shouting my head off.
So tape recorder is definitely a good idea. I agree with MJ there. I know I can't do tape recorder because I can't listen to my own voice when I talk because I get too
Mhm.
excited and then I'm screaming in the phone, and I've done that
I
before.
can't do it with
So-
my own voice because I hate it.
So
That's why I use a tape recorder.
I just get
'cause it
all
adds an
rambly
effect
and
to it.
like mumbly, and then I'm
Love
just like
Ryan's
spouting
voice.
bullshit, and then suddenly I'm just like, ah! I can, if I can find a voice note for you guys that I've sent like my friend Shauna or something, you guys would think I'm absolutely batshit insane. So, because it's just me rambling and then having discoveries as I'm rambling and going, oh my god!
buddy,
And just
buddy, I
screaming.
already know you're
So-
that shit.
Oh no, these recordings are worse. So-
We
Think
already
I'm
know
crazy
you
now?
Like
Mm-mm.
that.
You already know.
We already know that's how you is.
So, there's one I think from like 3 years ago. that the only response I got was, "Are you okay?" I was like, I'm driving and just screaming into the phone. I was just like, I just need to speak.
Okay, videos. I gotta make a list of videos. I'll forget. I'm gonna forget. Oh no.
I wrote all the questions I had down for you on Magma as well.
You say it like a mind flayer is sucking is sucking it out of your brain.
That's what it feels
forget.
like.
I'm gonna
That's
forget.
that's what
No.
it feels like. No. No.
I'll send you videos after. This is my YouTube. This is playing music right now. I don't want to accidentally just start playing videos.
I love videos.
And I will go on a deep dive this week for you.
Yay! I don't know. I think you honestly have a very solid base
Mm-hmm.
and a very solid
that's
idea
what matters.
of what your story is.
I think you have a very
Yeah.
solid face too. I think
I have
very,
that
It's-
like
yeah,
that.
you
That's
have a very
literally
solid face. I can.
yeah.
very
Yeah,
stone-like.
can't knock me over with a pail of water. I fucking yeah. That's the thing is that like I have very much solidified the base of my story. I'm having a lot of trouble carving out the little blocks that I stack on top of the base.
I think you'll get there. You'll get there.
I'll get there. I'm
At least you
kinda-
have a beginning and an end. Usually the ending is the hardest, so
Yeah.
trust me, I've written plenty of beginnings with middles and never ended them, and Oh.
Mhm.
the amount of yelling I've had because of that. What do you mean it doesn't end there? Fair bullshit.
It just doesn't. I guess, according to our initiative.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Your turn.
Thanks for allowing me my held action.
You're good.
Hell yeah. Me. How do we do this?
Yup.
Arm. There?
Arm.
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 Arm. Arm.
Okay.
What?
Liking the title.
Yeah, let's get this.
How do I watch stream?
Click the
How does it
button.
open?
Press the button.
Don't tell me what to do.
Hello. Hello.
Unfounded machine.
Insert cash or select payment time.
My notes are just gonna slowly become more compressed and squished, by the way.
I know. I was like trying to squish mine all to one side so I have space.
I
Whoa,
have
look
all
what
this.
I
I have
got
all
going.
this leg room.
I know.
Now I'm in circle.
Pal had to come in and ruin our flag.
I have all.
Yeah.
I have all this beautiful
We
leg room
have
down
the
here.
Romanian flag perfectly.
It was going to be the French flag, but
Blue, yellow. Yeah, I
Listen.
refuse.
MJ was
to
like,
be-
no.
We're not gonna be
I've-
French.
I've flooded your Romanian flag. It's the water level.
Oh.
Have
So
you heard
sad.
like Werner Herzog like talk about? I once was forced to speak French. It was a terrible time in my life. I regretted it immediately, even though the only reason I did it was because I was being held captive, and I literally had a gun to my head. It's like really, he's completely straight about it too. I regretted it immediately.
Okay.
Hi, Josie. Hi, Josie. Maybe stalling. 1 minute 47 seconds to an ad.
Okay.
Let me talk more about Werner Herzog.
Okay.
So,
You
Hold
look
on.
into the eyes
Before
of
you
a
start
chicken.
your rant, I'm just gonna say,
you look into
pal,
the
if you
eyes
want me
of a
to send,
chicken.
Uh-huh.
if you want me to send any of the like the long length of questions
Yeah,
that
but-
I sent Fawn over the last couple days, just let me know. I can send you the same questions.
Yeah, for this presentation, I literally messaged Lyra last night and I said, "Ask me questions."
It was a combo of like story questions, like the ones I asked you, like main character, protagonist, and character questions. So that I used for my own character stuff, and as well as like taking some notes from your character analysis stuff. So and throwing it their way as well. So, but
Because a big problem all the time ever for me is the thoughts they're in here. They're in here, but I can't make them on here.
it's like
I
can
can't put
see
them
you
to anything.
tapping your head. So
I am. They're in here, but I can't put them on here. 35
look,
seconds.
my script writing teacher taught us the first day of our script writing class to carry a writer's notebook with you, no matter how big or small it was, wherever you go. So I just got used to writing everything down wherever I went.
That's called Notes app.
I got a little journaling notebook on Friday, and then everything happened to me over the weekend.
And then Peppa happened.
Yeah. Literally first page of this notebook, there's a drawing of Peppa on it.
No, you can't have that.
I hadn't gotten the chance to even put the fucking coyote on here yet.
Oh god.
The rest of this notebook entry was me ranting through the fucking story that I just ranted about. It was me attempting to notate it in a way that's understandable.
We were theorizing if it was the coyote or Peppa that was getting you.
I'm still not sure.
Been both.
I don't know. I think it could
You're
have been both.
thinking it's Peppa acting through the coyote.
Or the coyote acting through, but it's hard to say.
It's hard.
The thing is, something I completely forgot was that, like, the day before I got Peppa, there was a situation of a car that had, like, double parked on the street outside my apartment, like, overnight with its hazards on and had died.
No way.
Oh no.
And, like, literally it was just such a massive situation of, like, slowly more and more people gathering around it to be like, can we jump it? It won't jump. I guess we call the police get here. I guess we call a tow truck. We wait for the tow truck.
Oh my god.
There was like someone, of course they were double parked, so there was someone actually parked on the curb that had to try and negotiate its way out from around this car that had died next to it.
Oh dear god. It's like watching a girl yesterday try not to hit my car. She's moving her own. I was like,
so I don't know if, because, like, that was before I even got Peppa. That was before the coyote. So it could have been that was whoever did that.
the ghost of the owner of the car?
Yeah. Or that was the coyote's car. Or that was Peppa's car. I don't know. We still don't really
Might have been
know.
Peppa's car.
Yeah, we still don't really know whose car it was, is the thing. So
No way.
it might have been.
Did they just towed it with nobody showing up?
Yeah, man. I mean, as far as I could tell, I didn't go out there and start asking questions because I was just like, they already have several people out there asking
that maybe
questions.
it was like a stolen car?
No.
Just dump it.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I don't know anymore.
I just don't fucking know anymore. I'm ready. I'm ready for less things to happen to me.
Yeah. Here's to a very boring week.
Yeah, I think I could use this past few days as like comic practice of like I'm gonna make a comic about
It's a
the most
chain of events. Do it.
unbelievable fucking weekend of my goddamn life.
I think you need a zine of the coyote.
Yes.
I need a zine of it. I need a zine of it.
You've just made an urban folklore
Yeah.
of how Peppa and this coyote.
Yes. I had to journey out in the cold, terrible wind to return Peppa to the Dollar Tree, by the way.
No way.
Did you just go back and put Peppa back on the shelf?
Yeah, I put her back and I said sorry, and I walked away. I said sorry out loud.
God, whoever gets that Peppa next.
I put her on a low shelf, hoping that just like maybe the problem is you want a kid to have her. And maybe that's the issue.
Maybe that's
Said
what's wrong.
no to
Yeah,
you.
I put her on a low shelf so that hopefully some kid is gonna walk by and just pocket it. I know I would.
It's already paid for.
Enacting
Free
the
Peppa,
will
no-
of Peppa.
Free Peppa, no price tag. It's in my pocket.
Free Peppa, no price tag?
Free Peppa, no price tag.
Hello, who? It's Josie. It's Josie. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
So my let me take a sip of water.
Prep yourself.
Prep myself.
Crap
to-
yourself?
Yep. Crap
Prepare
yourself?
yourselves. Yup.
What did you
Yup.
just say, Jade?
I said
Yup.
prep yourself.
Oh. I
Yup.
thought you just said
Am I
crap
speaking a
yourself.
different language? I
Yup.
Yup.
Three.
Josie time. So my original presentation, I said last time that I was going to go more in depth about Marv because I ran out of time. Shit happened. I focused a lot more on design stuff than character
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm.
I got really into the dinosaur.
Valid.
I got really wrapped up in the dinosaur aspect of him, but we'll go back to him at some point because there is stuff that I want to get out about him. But I last week, when was it that I said I was gonna change my thing like Thursday? I was like,
I have no idea.
I'm changing my presentation. All because I listened to like one song off of Josie's playlist, and then I'm like, I'm thinking about her so much right now. I can't.
All it takes.
It can't be
sometimes.
contained. So that's where we're at now. We're here, with oh my god, I can only pronounce this word like 4 out of 10 times.
What? Pessimism?
Pessimism?
Yeah. It's only this.
Pescatarianism?
It's only this state of the word.
Pessimism.
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 I don't know why. If I just like am reading it, I can't. It breaks my brain. I think it's because there's so many S's in it
Mm-hmm.
that it just kind of
Well,
turns into one.
S-I-
Mississippi.
It kind of just
Mississippi,
turns
yeah.
into one squiggle. So pessimism as a main character, and that's Josie. Josie. How do I make this move? Oh, there's a little dot. Go away. Okay. Josie, who is this? Are also the only pictures that I have of her new design. I have not drawn her since doing her ref sheet. Who is Josie? At her base, Josie Noble is the main character of our story. She's stuck in an unfortunate situation of being hunted down by the Liquidators. There's gonna be a lot of new names in this. The Liquidators, as she was flagged in their system as being an anomaly. In short, Josie is on the run and has been for months. She accidentally got oh my god. Soria involved when the other was seen helping her try to leave Inzio to escape the Liquidators. Now the two are trying to get to the bottom of why Josie's being flagged as an anomaly in hopes that they can get themselves out of trouble. They're in deep shit and don't know why. And this next slide is the one thing that made me be like, oh shit, maybe I have actually thought of a bunch of stuff about this. Important terms. My important terms list. Inzio is the small town where Soria is from. It's where we start our story. It's where her and Josie meet. Tovia is the capital city, is where the majority of the story takes place. It's where Soria and Josie go to quote unquote, I know a guy with Soria to try and get help with figuring out why Josie's being hunted down and everything, and basically try to fix that shit up. But it's also where Edith and her team are housed, because it is the capital. It's where they live. Liquidators is the specialized team that's put together to exterminate anomalies. So that is, Liquidators is the official name of Edie's team. Anomalies are warped vita that's left over from the convergence of Favricha and Terra into Aetherwind. Vita is the metaphysical component that all beings are made from. Some contain more than others. Vita is from Fevitra. The convergence is what allowed Terra ancestry to be able to access Vita for l'effect and altered appearances globally. So that's what, there's no just like straight looking people in this world. Everybody's varying degrees of critter. L'effect is what some would call magic. Is just little things that you can do with Vita. Damon is, that's spelled wrong. It's spelled right everywhere else except for right there.
You're
Now
good.
hold on. You might be onto something spelled it like that.
Damon is originally referred to as the beings of Fevricha. It's now used to refer to the populace in general, now that everybody is mixed with Vita. First, the original daemons that created directly by Lilith, minus the 4 under the watch of Edith, they're all locked away in a subdimension due to their large amounts of Vita and their unpredictable, dangerous natures. Cardinals / Gate Guardians are the 4 first that, before the convergence, guarded the main connections between Terra and Aetherwind. After the convergence, they were locked away. No, wrong. Terra and Fevricha. That's was wrong word. After the convergence, they were locked away, but now they work under Edith as liquidators. Fevricha, Terra, and Aetherwind, the old Daemon world, old human world, and the current converged world, respectively. These are all my things. Doing this is what made me sit there and go, wait a minute. Wait, I actually put shit together.
You got this.
Ain't that interesting? Ignore my spelling mistakes, and this probably happened because I was doing this on my phone for a minute, and it's so oh my god, it's so fucking annoying trying to do this on the phone. It fights really hard.
Yeah, Canva doesn't like when you use your phone or your iPad.
It glitches a lot.
Hate iPad.
Why pessimism? To understand Josie's outlook on things, we need to look back at her origins. Her origins being the original story that Josie is from. Because a lot of her personality and her outlook on life is based on that. And as a character, she is originally from a story that was a monstrous post-apocalyptic world. So at her core, Josie is a character that was supposed to be an apocalypse survivor, basically. She was supposed to be somebody that was traveling with 1 or 2 other people, trying to she kind of had the same goals, where she was trying to figure out what was going on with her family because it was affecting her. Except the setting was a lot different, and like everything to do with that was a lot different. But as a character, not much has changed with her, except just like the necessary things that needed to change with being in a different setting. Excuse me. So from being like a character from that setting, like she was a lot more, like had a much harder like outlook on life and was more of a realist, while still trying to like figure out what the fuck was going on. So a lot of that has carried over into this, where she is basically like, shit just keeps fucking happening and I need to figure out why it is and see if I can make it stop doing that, because that would be a little bit nice. So how her stories are different or not because a lot is still similar between the two. A lot of the things that are still similar, like I said, is like a lot of things about her as a character. She is still very like on track. Like, I need to figure out what's going on. Very much she's kind of selfish. Doesn't really like think a lot how things affect other people. While she is trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Case in point, with Soria, when they first meet, it is through Josie getting chased down by liquidators and Soria hiding her in her shop because Soria is kind of herbalist, apothecary shop owner. So her shop is filled with a bunch of herbs and perfumes and oils and stuff. So she so clumsily drops a big jar of very stanky like perfume oils while Josie is hiding somewhere and basically like you know, you're trying to find some like you got your fucking hunting dog trying to find somebody and this big stink ass oil is all up in their face. They're like, I'm leaving actually.
Get me out of here.
I am going outside. So she is there, and in the process of Soria trying to get Josie out of town, gets spotted with her, and is therefore, you know, a conspirator with her, basically. Which is basically Soria kind of like tries to hide her in one of the like warehouses that are in town because they're a very big shipment town there. And like she gets her there, but as they're like trying to leave later, they get spotted. And then leads to them needing to leave together so that shit does not happen. But also so shit that does happen. But like through all of that, Josie is kind of like kind of in the like school of thought of like it's not that big of a deal. Like it's like shit, dude, I like they're after me now because they saw me helping you and now they think that like we're in on this together or something. And it's like, well, it's not that big of a deal. Like they'll forget about it, or it like they'll realize that you aren't actually, or like we're gonna go there, we're gonna figure it out, and then it's not gonna be a problem anymore. I don't know, like it doesn't matter that like you need to leave your hometown all of a sudden because they're also hunting you. We're just gonna solve it and it's not gonna be a problem anymore. Other things that are like similar between the two in the original story, Josie, same for both of them, she doesn't know who her mom is. Her papa has died. In the original story, it was this was years ago. This was like golden age of Gravity Falls, so she was this was like younger, like kids doing shit kind of story. And she's now like mid-20s age range in current story. So I think probably like her dad has still died, but probably a lot like later in her life before like all of this shit started happening, or it was probably like maybe like the kickoff to things starting to happen for her, which that people learn more about it as the story progresses, as like because as much as she is like the main character and we are following her and the stuff that's happening to her, is kind of like she has to like warm up to not just like Soria, but like to the audience as a whole, to like open up, and then you learn more about her, and she will eventually share things that had happened in her past. And first starting as like, I think this is stuff that might help us try to figure things out, and then like, yeah, this is some kind of shit thing that happened once. But I don't know, it's kind of things like that. And then her outlook. Unsurprisingly, she has a particularly pessimistic outlook on life. In her words, she's just getting by and making it work. She's being hunted down is just one more unfortunate event on her list of life events. It's kind of just like, well, what the fuck else is gonna happen? The answer is a lot of the fuck else. Like, what's the role of her POV? It's that Josie's perhaps an unreliable narrator. Like I said, she needs to open up more and tell more things. We're hearing all of the events through how she experienced them. This is how she thinks things went down. You are, because it's a comic format. It's not a book, so you're not getting many. Like comics, you still get like inside thoughts, but it's not like all inside thought, like point of view in a character. You are kind of just there as an onlooker. But she's our main character, so the events of the story are directly affecting her in her daily life, and we are mostly following her as she tries to sort it out and get all these things to really just leave her the fuck alone. Her relationships, the people that she interacts with, these are also just kind of like the main focus characters of the story. Of course, Soria. And then Soria's I know a guy people are Loki, Atlas, Portland, and Ghost. Those are people that they meet up with in Tovio and work with in later parts of the story. I say later, but it's not really that much later. And then reluctantly, the Liquidators. Start versus end relationships are like, they're planned to change like drastically from start to end. The plan is for the story to be 4 parts, having split focus between the main groups. And Josie has a lot of opinions on people. Like I said in the beginning, she's very self-centered. Like, oh my god, what is the word? Individualistic.
Individualistic.
And kind of is just like, doesn't think about how things are going to affect other people. And like the fact that things can affect other people and the choices that you make do things like that. I think, oh no, I have another side. There's just her playlist. If I think I talked to Lyra about this earlier, I didn't get to do it. I was going to actually just like very quickly scribble it out, like draw it. But a very good just like view of how Soria and Josie's relationship with each other changed from start to end is the start, like I said, very like, well, we're stuck together basically. To in another life I'd really like just doing taxes and laundry with you. And I got another one from Crow too. She said
a classic,
where did it go? Oh my god, we yapped too much to each other.
I know, because you sent that one quote and I was like, I'm currently watching the movie. So.
And the one from Crow that she said, I was like, is there more, like, give me more quotes like this? And she gave the in every other life, why not this one? So that's it. That's the tell of the change in their dynamics. Another big one is that Edie and her team and the two of them in the end, for some undisclosed reason, do end up needing to work together a bit. So that is another dynamic that is destined to change as they work through it. And then her playlist. Yop. These are yop. Very fitting songs. These very fitting songs. Yop. Womp womp. This is Josie.
Oh man.
And that's it.
Yeah, mother next to Childish Gambino.
Where they were always meant to be.
Yup.
I've made some connections in my brain, but I will keep those to myself and just message them to you so we can devastatingly cry to each other.
Oh.
So.
Yup. That's Josie. That's all I wrote.
I think the only, because I was just writing down like one question is just a thought question. Was like, because you mentioned like the story Josie came from before this one involved like an apocalyptic world, and my brain went, is that to say Terra was apocalyptic before the convergence? Just food for thought stuff. And then the other question I had, because you mentioned that Josie has like a survivalist mindset where it's like, yeah, I just get by and I solve problems as they come up kind of deal, is just like the question of proposal being like, can all the problems be solved though?
Nope.
So, yeah. And then I like the
Nope,
the
and you can
difference.
imagine how somebody like her would deal with that.
Yep. And I like the difference between you having Josie being very selfish and like individualistic, and then there's Soraya, who's I wrote down fatal flaw, very over helpful. Like,
So her playlist is like 4 songs long right now, and it's very sad.
yeah, it's just I'm like, the way I'm imagining their dynamic is Josie's like, it's the shit we gotta deal with, and Soraya's like, but do we? So, but she doesn't. Do we have to? But I'm gonna do it anyway. So, because I care about people too much. It's just like, oh, baby. So. And then my brain came up with the scenario for what you might possibly have at the end of your story, and that's why I'm like, I'm not gonna say that out loud. So I don't want to accidentally hit the nail on the head. So.
Haha, bot just got banned. Haha.
Don't you want to become famous?
Yes, viewers. So funny when they use just special syllables for no reason. Yeah, I mean we can hold another little secret stairs.
Who's Secrets
We
World?
certainly can.
Secrets World.
We can have
Secrets
Secrets
World.
World. We could maybe have Secrets World after this.
That's
Maybe.
true. That's true.
I have a lot of wild energy today.
Yeah.
Let's see, what questions did I have? First of all, shaking your hand about character recycling. Looks at half the cast of Wild Magic.
Dude, there's not a new bitch in this story. All of these characters are reused.
But also for for Josie's general character arc. I mean, like, does Josie get like sort of some major wake up call moments, or like is it like some big moments, or is it mostly small moments, or a mix of things that kind of get Josie go like, oh wait, maybe I'm being a little stupid.
Yeah, there's some pretty dramatic stuff that's supposed to happen. Some big slap in the face kind of kind of stuff. I do actually, this is another thing I can say, that I just saw your DM. I'm just gonna say I thought about it. Where is it?
Giving you all the possibilities.
I made this little spoilers thing under my tab in our server with the intent of I was going to use it to just write out the entire plot in it, and then I kind of was just crazy instead.
So you just kind of blew up.
I did write out the entire plot in it, but
oh boy.
if you look at it, is the note says 1 establish find info open ends focus 1 + 3 2 establish explain search intro problem focus 2 mention 1 3 problem investigate connect shaky plan 1 2 3 4 boom 1 parentheses 3 2 intel 3 1 2 1 2 3.
You hear a door somewhere open.
And would you believe it? That is the entire plot.
Holy shit. Okay. I see.
That is the entire outline.
Hold on. I'm like, I'm solving it in my head. I'm fucking unlocking it in my mind.
Solve my riddles 3.
Your riddles 4.
Your
4. Your riddles 1. Your riddles 3 + 2 4 5 3.
There's no 5s.
Riddle me D.
Fuck. Shit.
The riddle monster is getting closer,
My
pal.
favorite is find info
you have
open
an
ends.
answer?
Find info open ends focus 1 + 3 2.
I love just the string of numbers.
the other thing that I have is that wow, okay, you actually have a lot more of this stuff developed than you let on.
That's why everything's in the ear.
Yeah, and I think
Everything's in your head.
I think you might be just about at the point where you have to decide how much physical length and physical format the story will take.
Whee!
Time to start creating it.
You just about have the outline. I think now you need to.
Oh no, I think Vaughn has the outline.
Yeah, I mean, there's like that. Yeah,
1 2 3 4 1 2.
There's I'm sure there's specific little spots that you're gonna fucking chisel away at, but like, yeah, I think you need to tell me how many pages it's gonna be soon.
I need to give you the word count soon.
Yeah, I think you gotta tell me if this is a hardcover or soft cover.
Well, it is intended to be 4 different parts.
Okay.
That's where the 4 comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Letting you in on a little secret there about the decoding. So the decoding does list out what part, like which thing is happening in which part. So that's why it says 1 establish find. Because part 1 you establish and you find out info. But it does. So I'll explain it, because even explaining it does not tell you anything about what this says.
Right, yeah. You just give it structural notes.
I know what it means. But I did not write down what it means. It's just structure, yeah. So what establish find? So 1 is part 1. So you're gonna establish it. You're gonna find info. You're gonna leave open ends. You're gonna focus on group 1 plus 3. Group 3 is Loki and all of them.
Okay.
So I guess book 1 focuses on Josie, Soraya, and then once they get into the city, Loki, Portland, Alice, and Ghost as well. It introduces them as working together as a group. And then 2, establish, explain, search. So that's in the second part, you're establishing things, you're explaining more things. Search, introduce the big main problem of everything.
Yeah, the conceit, the fucking driving.
Yeah, this is going like the drive, but
Show
the
whose foot
focus is on group
gas.
2.
Okay.
The focus is in group 2 for this, and you mention groups 1 and 3.
I see.
And then-
I see.
Or you mention group 1, not 3. They don't know that they're with 3 yet. The 3 means the 3 after the 1 after mention 1. That 3 means
Yes.
section 3. So
Yeah.
3 then is problem, investigate, connect,
Yes.
plan. 1, 2, 3, all of them together.
Yes.
4, boom, 1, 3, 2. Which it's 4. It's the last thing. This is the big stuff happening. So they already have their shaky plan. The big stuff is happening. You're with all of them, but they're kind of separate. And then INTL, I think it meant interlude.
I see. Okay.
So interlude group 3. Learn about them. And then it's back to just 1 and 2 together, and then all of them together at the end.
Yeah, and then Bowser shows up.
And
they
then
have to
Bowser
defeat
shows up,
Bowser.
and Mario jumps on him.
Yeah, Mario jump on his head, and Bowser dies.
I'm
Mhm.
so glad I'm not
Okay,
the only one here that has such a big cast of characters.
Hal's got a shit ton too.
I do technically have plenty of characters. I'll get to them. I have enough that I'm debating what are some ways that I could shorten the OC book reports, because I don't think I could actually do I don't think I could actually do full presentations on each of them for all of these.
Combine a couple of them.
Suggestion,
Yeah.
combine
Yeah, I'm
siblings.
like that. Yeah, I'm gonna, which is too bad. I had a chance to do that.
Like if I ever get to Lillian,
think
which
I'm
will
gonna have
probably
the older-
eventually happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Yeah.
the older crowd as one thing.
Yeah, if I ever get to Lillian, I'll do Annalie at the same time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm not doing them
So,
separate because they come in a
like-
pair. Same with
how
Rain and Warwick.
how I'm looking at this is these are like the focus characters.
Yeah.
Mm.
And like of course there are background characters, like there is Lilith, there is other people that like interact with them more than once and stuff like that, but like these are the focus characters and the ones that
Mhm.
have the most effect on what's happening. So that like it helps narrow it down onto like who is the most important to what's going on.
Oops.
Like I have my focus group in the first book, which is only 5, but there's more than that, and I'm not talking about anybody else because they're just there. There's what? It's primary, secondary, and tertiary. Fuck the tertiary characters.
Ugh. Words.
They're just there. So
Boingo boingo.
Boingo, boingo.
very good.
That's
Very tasty.
it.
There it is.
There it is. A little glimpse into the stuff is here. It's in here. I swear.
There
I
are
promise.
things. There are
Almost
things.
time to start getting it
There
down.
is a lot of thoughts happening. It's just there's issues making those thoughts be on in the here.
Yup. We're on the same page, you and I.
Yeah, that's why one of my notes for yours was if you unlock the secret of how to write middle stuff, let me know.
I wish I could tell you guys how to do middle stuff. Most of the time I'm just here and I just go for it. I'm like,
Son of a bitch. Nobody knows the damn secret.
there is a secret. I don't have it. Just kind of go for
Nobody
it.
knows the fucking
The secret
secret.
is you just fucking write.
Nobody's
So-
goddamn telling me the secret. They're all
We just
keeping
have
it
to.
from me.
We just have to get obsessed unhealthily with our characters.
I'm already unhealthily obsessed with my characters.
More!
That's the issue.
More!
I don't know how much more I can be
obsessed.
obsessed with them. It's been 5 years.
It's been 84 years.
More.
Uh,
Where's the Aaron?
Look at
Aaron
Amelia
from
again.
Game. Where's the Aaron from Game Grumps voice clip of him just screaming more when you need it? More.
Oh yeah, when he's got the M&Ms.
Yeah.
Oh,
More.
right, Jesus, Aaron, fine.
I just grabbed my stapler thinking it was my mouse and moved it like, why did my mouse move? Because it's your fucking stapler.
nice.
Jeez, girly, move your shit. Organizing my goddamn files. Okay.
Lyra's turn.
Your turn. I know. I'm prepping myself. I have to blow my nose.
You're crapping yourself.
Okay.
You're crapping.
Creeping yourself. Let me write. What the
I'm
hell?
going to fold you into a fucking book.
No.
Wow.
Get out of here, Yoshi.
No.
Okay, Yoshi's gonna turn me into an egg now. Remember what I told you?
How do I let
What?
me do things? Do I have something selected? I did, apparently. Oh boy, brush milestone. 300
Yum.
strokes.
Listen, it's been yelling at me the entire time. I'm up to 824.
If you reach 1,000, then it should give you an achievement called that's just labeled edging.
Oh my god.
It
dude.
should, considering the way it's speaking to me.
Oh, you have yours. Oopie. Oopie.
I'm so incredibly funny.
Oopie.
For fuck's sake.
Can I select the correct? Nope. Nope.
Alright,
Nope.
I'm closing iPad.
Nope.
Go away.
There it is. There we go.
Did everybody see?
Yeah.
Okay. I was unsure for
Yeah.
a hot second. Oh boy! Oh,
Take it away.
last time. I don't even remember what I talked about last time.
Something.
Something.
What? There's
Plenty.
something.
I think it was just pots.
The dirt.
The dirt. That's what.
Oh
it-
yeah, you were in the dirt.
You're in the
And then
dirt.
this-
You were in the thick of it.
This time.
Oh,
Which-
please don't say that phrase anymore.
Oh.
I can only think
This
of
time.
crime.
I did a quick little character analysis of Vivian, who is like the first perspective in the book, but not the main character. She's one of the secondary characters, but they all have their purpose. What? So, character summary. Quick rundown. Vivian is one of the secondary main characters within Beasts of the Wilds. Her POV is meant to add dramatic irony to the story, as the readers find out that she holds a lot of little knowledge bits, and she doesn't say them out loud to the other characters until, like, the time is right. So she holds a lot of secrets, but they're her secrets to reveal on her own timetable. And then just a little notes for myself is she's an Enkeli, partially, which is a light spirit from Calum that was given a mortal form, hence the wings. So, oh my god, they look similar. Background. As a child, Vivian spent the majority of her life traveling with her mother, Sharika. Her mother was primarily a priestess of Eleutheria, which is the goddess of freedom and travel, but one of her, like, jobs, as she kind of, like, traveled the world, was acting as like a grief counselor, because Eleutheria is like a guide for a lot of people. So Sharika became that sort of guide for a lot of people, is just guiding people in next steps of like what's to come. This meant, though, that Vivian became very familiar with death, specifically at a very young age. The other job Sharika held eventually was being an active member of the Eyes of Saren, specifically the leader. And that was an organization that started up during the age of the Scaled Sisters, which is Eleutheria and Sapientia. So, who is she? First and foremost, Vivian just turns 19 as the story goes into full swing. Not saying that this is how old she is in the prologue. In the prologue, she is 16. But Vivian is definitely someone who carries a lot of her beliefs as like being a protector of innocent and vulnerable people. It's just something that like she watched her mom do a lot of. So she kind of grew up with that same belief in herself. Like sort of like a responsibility of like, I have to take care of other people because that's what's important. She was one of the first witnesses of the aftermath in the massacre that happens in Beasts of the Wild. So that's when she was 16. She was the one that like pointed out something was happening in the distance from the next town over, and the next morning she assisted in like relief efforts after everything came and settled. What she saw there was a lot of dead bodies around a small town, and it just felt not just very like upset, but very angry at the same time. I think I write the quote like they didn't deserve this. So a couple of times said by her. She does have a temper that tends to run away from her. She does use it in a way that calls people out on their bullshit for a good portion of the story. And she is a firm believer that all people deserve longevity and happiness. So, yeah. Relationships. Just quick rundown on who's who. Sharika, mother, their relationship is strong but becomes rocky because they don't see eye to eye all the time. Despite Sharika having a lot of power in the world, Vivian believes her mom could do more, or should have done more, and Vivian takes it upon herself to, like, do the more that she wanted her mother to do. Flora, little best friend. Vivian lived in Katona. She was born in Katona, which is where Flora is from, and they got to know each other very well growing up, because when Flora was studying how to be a priestess, so was Vivian. So they kind of just met through those channels, and they have different gods, but they did a lot of their training and studying together. So Talmai, Vivian met a little later down the road, when like Vivian left with her mom to travel the world, came back to Katona. That's when she met Talmai, and this is when Vivian's like, she was like 16, 17, and she met Talmai and was like, oh, you're friends with Flora. Hi, how are you? I don't know you much, but I'm gonna book it. I'm gonna go my own way, and you're around. So they don't know each other, but they do get to know each other more. Talmai is working for the Eyes of Saren as well, so he is working under her mother. The vague ones that I can't explain too much of. Estelle, very close. Vivian and Estelle bond very quickly through the story. As especially for someone who wants to help, being Vivian, by any means necessary, and someone who trusts literally no one, being Estelle. She's like, I don't know you or what you want, but I like you. So, and Callan has that little brother energy, and the two of them do end up spending a lot more time together after the story concludes, as well as just like coming up with little plans here and there throughout the story itself. They have big partners in crime energy. And then I had to throw this one in. So I'm not going to talk about her a lot, but I was having a lot of thoughts about her. Eva, she is a mentor, and Vivian found Eva when no one else would listen to Vivian, and they found that they were both walking the same path, and it would be better to do it together than apart. So Eva is probably the most I can say about Eva is the war front, and that's about it. So can't say anything else about her. But yeah, so just little design choices over here that I picked over the years of designing Vivian, what she looks like. Vivian has a like soft character arc through the story, which means she changes, but it's not like in the beginning she's a completely different person from the end. Like she grows up a bit more than where she started. So at the start, she is still childish in her anger and the way she goes about things. She does do a lot of stuff out of spite and pettiness. But it's also like a tendency to be impulsive and aggressive and not thinking before she acts. And there's a lot of defiance and rebellious. It's just a lot of anger in this very small person. She's the shortest of the group. I should have just that. So she definitely continuously fights with feelings of abandonment and being cripply independent. So that's kind of where she starts, is just having a lot of anger towards like everybody she knows and the world itself, and just being like, why does no one understand what the hell is going on? So, and then end. Don't mind my wonky ass drawing. Couldn't bother to do her face either. So I said, fuck it, I'll leave it there. Where does the story leave Vivian? She definitely leaves the story with a realization that she doesn't have to do everything by herself. She still holds on to her temper, but she manages to use it in more productive ways and more civil ways. So instead of just stabbing people, I have to... She doesn't hold the title of the Valkyrie for no reason. So that's a title she gains towards the end of the story. She does remain close to Flora and Talmai, but she finds herself more next to Estelle and helping Estelle and Callan a lot more after the story concludes. So, and she is a traveler, so she does travel the world and continue to do that. And I think I've already said this, but Callan and her become partners in crimes after the story. There's ideas thrown around at the end of the story that need to be developed, and Callan and Vivian are somewhat responsible for those developments. They are also very responsible for just the things that can happen at the end of the story. So there's a lot of deals on the table that need to be situated. So, and she does continue to work with Eva behind the scenes to finish all the tall tasks that are set out at the end. But yeah, and then my little pictures are like what she looks like at the end. Specifically, like appearance wise, not much. Specifically, her wings have a different appearance towards the end than in the beginning. And then little outfits that she has come up with, which I did steal from our princess game, because that is essentially what she looks like. And then I was trying to find what her armor would essentially look like for the war front and the war effort, because I was like, well, she needs to be light enough to fly and carry other people. So her armor has to be a little lighter than everybody else's. But yeah. Fun facts. I just wrote a bunch of these because my brain was just like, I just want to throw these on there. She is half a Kelly. Her mother, Sharika, is full Kelly, but her father was human. So she's like somewhat mortal, while her mom has a bit more of an immortality to her. So, and I also keep imagining Sharika being very, very tall, and then she just has this daughter who's like 5 foot or something like. So I'm like, why why is she so short? And then I'm just like, it is what it is. She's tiny. Tiny person full of rage. So Vivian was born in Katona, but she spent a lot of her childhood growing up in El Escoso, and that's not a specific place in El Escoso, it's just all over the place. It's just really big. And she went from each of the main area, territories. So because of that, she learned a lot of the traditions over there and how they do magic in El Escoso, and that those magical practices have a little bit more practicality and physical charge to them than the ones of priestesses who just pray to their gods and do fun little magic, so mentally charged stuff. So Vivian has a lot more magic in the way she fights than just throwing spells. So she has lived in all 3 cities on the Dragon's Crest, which is where Katona is located. So there's 2 other ones. They're not important, but she's lived there. And she did spend some time in the Olemis as well, which is near the Dragon's Crest. So, but she follows Eleutheria after her mother, and she did start following Sapientia of her own choice. So, little fun facts there. Songs. This is just some of her music. The playlist itself is called Of Gods and Women. That's not her playlist, I realize. It's just a playlist that started as hers and then eventually became Flora, Estelle, and any other female character I had. So it just ended up as Of Gods and Women. So it's just a lot of ladies on there. But I picked out a handful of the songs that remind me of her specifically. So fight music that likes to play in my head when I think of her being The Edge of 17 specifically. And then character themes being Delilah and Skyfall of Song and Rule Number 9, Childhood Stars. And then on that playlist I also realized there are group dynamic songs. And Vivian's is Till Forever Falls Apart. So, and that's her dynamic with her perspective in dynamic with the rest of the group. But yeah. Just more fun little quips at the end.
Yay!
What is it?
Yay!
Yeah. She enjoyed, because I took notes from you, pal. I was like, I have to do this. My brain just has too many fun facts about Vivian that I'll never get to explain. So she enjoys deserts and savannah. She knows how to fly really well in a thunderstorm. Learned that living in Ventilis. She can reach really high speeds in flight, faster than her mom, who's like a cheetah. Her favorite foods are blackberries, raspberries, any kind of berries or anything. So, and anything that involves them. She really likes apple cider specifically. She is the shortest of the group, but can carry Talmai in full armor. She dual wields crystalline short swords and also tends to make chirping noises when excited or asleep. A habit she's had since a child. So, yeah. But that's Vivian.
Yay!
My quick little... And her outfits consist of very light clothing. So, very flowy stuff. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. You put a lot of thought into
my little bird.
I love it, a bird.
My little bird.
I love it, a bird.
So, she's my little bird. The group has a weird group definitely has like a diverse cast. It's like Little Bird, Shadow, like, so Flora is like the opposite of Vivian, where Vivian is like a light spirit, Flora is a shadow spirit. So tell